Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
Um, I was really excited to have this conversation because I love any opportunity we have to highlight New Mexico-based startup companies and entrepreneurs such as yourself. And we especially love having conversations with social entrepreneurs. And we're going to dig into a little bit of that.
great.
Um, but I wanted to kind of start off so people have a sense of Organ Mountain Outfitters, what it's about, and how it got started.
Yes, Oregon Mountain Outfitters is an apparel brand here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. We started off at the farmers market, and with every purchase, we would donate lunches back to our community. So there were families on a reduced lunch program that basically were not able to pay for their lunches, and what we were able to do is take those donations and completely pay off the balance for all those families
Yeah,
in Las Cruces within 4 years. And so we're really excited. We're still giving back. We're still donating. We're also going to be launching a new initiative what our next 5 years looks like as well. So we promote the outdoors. We give back to our community, and we want to be part of that change. And so kind of our motto is build, give, change.
that's amazing. Yeah, and to that point, I'd love to talk more about Organ Mountain Fitters as a brand. And one thing that we kind of have connected over is the fact that we're both filmmakers and we have that in our background. And
Right.
I really appreciate about Organ Mountain Outfitters is the fact that you bring that filmmaking sensibility to the way that you market your brand. And I love all the pieces that you've created on your YouTube channel for Organ Mountain Outfitters. And one of the phrases that we talked about offline in describing Organ Mountain Outfitters and the core brand specifically is this idea of the spirit of the Southwest made tangible.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, interesting enough, I had this connection maybe the other day when we were talking, but growing up Cherokee, so my stepdad was Cherokee, and I grew up learning to read and write Cherokee in Oklahoma, and I think here where New Mexico is really rich and like kind of that Native American Pueblo history, like it's about storytelling, right?
Yeah,
you you want to honor the land, you want to honor the people, and we do that through stories. And so I think we've always just kind of have really taken a very I would say um, respectful approach when it comes to storytelling,
right,
because there's there's storytelling to sell a shirt
right.
that very cheap, and there's storytelling that builds a community. And I think that's where like we've always kind of approached, we want to build a community here first.
And there's one collaboration I'd like to touch upon with Zia Pueblo in a little bit, but I also wanted to explore, are there any other kind of collaborations that Organ Mountain Outfitters does in terms of that storytelling with its brand?
Yeah, we've actually protected that branding for quite a while because
Hmm.
we didn't want to dilute it, so the
Right,
part we've done or been with New Mexico State University, or with the food bank there, or we've done with the Zia Pueblo. It is something in the next 5 years we're noticing how a lot of brands or people do want to collaborate with us, and we are going to open that up quite more over the next 5 years. But we wanted to establish that identity for us kind of initially, and really establish our value systems within the community. Because when you just start throwing your logo on everything, it's like, well, who are you? What do you stand for?
right.
And you sort of got to protect that value system. And so and I think that's why we've been trying to figure out how do we now at this point, now that people know who we are, how do we kind of take this to the next level.
Right. And and then now visiting that relationship with Zia Pueblo, I remember you telling me, Organ Mountain's taking off. People are really getting into it and loving the fact that there's this representation of Las Cruces and the Borderlands area. And people are coming up to you and saying, "Hey, when are you going to put the Zia Sun symbol on something?" I mean,
Right.
that's like a rite of passage for an apparel company in the state,
Right.
And
Right.
so, yeah, I remember you kind of talking about that and kind of almost really wanting to be very thoughtful and intentional about navigating that, because you want to be able to extend that to
Right.
maintain that connection with
Right.
New Mexicans who really resonate with it, but then also recognizing where this comes from.
Right.
And can you tell me a little bit about the story
Yeah.
about how that relationship started with Zia Pueblo?
Definitely. I think it started with my childhood. I think growing up Cherokee and being a part of a community that was basically, pushed from the homelands of North Carolina and Florida to this like corner of Oklahoma, like it had a deep impact. I mean, it was extreme poverty. It was like no running water, no electricity, and you see a lot of pride stripped away from people. Um, and I think for me, like when I was at the farmers market, people were like, "Hey, once you do the Zia Sun symbol," I was really hesitant. It wasn't something that I've really felt comfortable doing because of my experience, and so it was something where I was like, it does mean a lot to New Mexicans. And so, I reached out to the Zia by phone and email, and I didn't really get anywhere initially. And I decided to just drive. And I was able to meet the governor and the tribal council all in one day. I just happened to drive up. And,
That's fantastic.
yeah, and we talked about like the sun symbol and what it means, and kind of it was me not like I didn't give them anything initially. I was like, okay, this is what's being requested of me. Your sun symbol is used all over New Mexico and throughout the Southwest without your permission, and what do you guys want? Is this something you guys want to pursue? I'm happy to kind of walk away and just honor, you know, um, your people, but like, what is it something that you want to do? And so they kind of came back after that conversation, and they drafted a 10-year agreement to where we would donate 10% of the sales to their youth scholarship foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been able to donate those proceeds. And I met with the last governor, and he was telling me how they've used that money for students to pursue like a doctorate degree, to get their associates, and those kind of stories. And it was something that where I was really overcome with like emotion, because and just super thankful because the Zia Pueblo, as I've got to know them throughout the years, they're people who don't want a casino. They're not driven by money. They're not driven. They just want that respect. They just want that recognition that I think that
Right.
we all crave. And it was something that where they've really impacted my life as well, because they're such a beautiful people, and there's actually not very many Zia Pueblo people left in the world. And so to be able to kind of continue and tell that story is something that we're very passionate about. And we actually were going to do a lot more with the Pebble last year. We were going to do photo shoots with their people and
Right.
do video shoots with their people, and but with COVID, hit
Right. Yeah.
this year. But one of the things that we are doing that I don't think a lot of people publicly know this, we actually created a Shopify website for Zia Pueblo, and basically when that relationship is basically at its end, we're gonna turn over that website to them. So we're gonna take all these years of data and customers and merchandising, and we're just gonna hand it over to them. And if they want to be a part of it, great. If they need help with production, we're here to kind of help mentor and kind of guide them along. But it's something for us where we are kind of building it, we're going to give it back, and
Right.
hopefully that'll have an impact and a change in their community.
Well, that's fantastic. And I also recall hearing that, part of, by the way, I saw on the beanie hats, it says,
Yeah,
license Zia Pueblo.
yeah,
I think that's fantastic.
yeah.
Um, I know that also one of the major parts of this collaboration with Zia Pueblo is the impact that it has for the youth in their community. And
Right.
can you talk a little bit about like what are some of those outcomes that it helps produce?
Right. So basically, the Scholarship Foundation is really furthering their education for their youth. So whether they want to go to trade school, if they want to go to community college, if they want to pursue their master's or doctorate, they're able to do so. And so basically, what's really amazing is that and through some of the people I've met, it's one of those things where they take that education, they bring it back to the Pueblo and continue to build that infrastructure that, basically their government needs.
Right. That's fantastic. And one of the things I also appreciate is kind of this notion that everybody can participate in the
Right.
impact.
Right.
Organ Mountain Outfitters is all about promoting the Southwest and the outdoors in this beautiful place that we all love, either if we live here or we're just passing through. And, I think it can be challenging for some entrepreneurs to kind of look at how to understand, minding the balance between the social impact that you want to drive and then creating a business that can be sustainable. So it's even able to facilitate
Right.
the impact. And what was sort of like that history for Organ Mountain, establishing that value system, but then also minding that balance between being sustainable and then also being able to give back.
I think it starts with community first. I've said that over and over, but because it's the most important foundation that we have, we're able to pay our employees more. We're able to offer them 3 weeks paid vacation if they're full time, 2 weeks paid vacation if they're part time. We're offered to, hopefully provide more benefits for them. We're able to also take a percentage of these sales and give them back to local food banks or to the Zia Pueblo, but it's all because of the community support. Like if it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't be able to do these things. And I think that's what's interesting as we kind of like talk about, national minimum wage or these other things is, it kind of starts with our community first and
Right.
with value systems of a business that people really want to get behind. And there is a difference between, I think, what you've said, a business and a social business. And I think that's something where it's kind of newer in today's world, but I think it is going to be the one that's sustainable long term. Basically, no business will be able to survive in the future without a social impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like, that, at the core of it, especially for any aspiring social entrepreneurs who are listening, is, think of yourself as an organizer and think of yourself as somebody who can help catalyze something, but also recognize it's the community that helps drive the impact, make it
Right.
possible.
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything else going on right now with Organ Mountain Outfitters that's important to bring up and talk about?
We're going to be talking about what our next 5 years looks like. I'm really excited to kind of talk about that message pretty soon. I actually have a meeting tonight to kind of finalize a few of those things. With our local food bank, and I've been meeting with the superintendent of the public schools, and we also got a meeting with Albuquerque Food Bank soon as well. And so we're really excited. We're just kind of finishing up the details here, but I would really just encourage everyone to stay tuned because at first, it's something where we're just going to commit. We're going to double down on who we are, our value system. And I think for us, like, we understand that we do inspire a lot of other people, but it's one of those things that, we're about kind of giving meals back into the community, promoting outdoors and whatever you're passionate about, right? I mean, if you're really passionate about this issue or this social issue, like, you can do that. And hopefully, we can kind of somewhat be someone that you can kind of see like it can work.
Right.
There's that spark of hope where you have that opportunity to really see like it can work. And so we just, as we are last in child well-being, as we are last in so many categories, the main thing that we want to be able to provide is just hope, right? Like just hope and inspiration, and we want to be there. I mean, one of the things where recently we've had a director of operations. Her name is Nancy Portillo. She's amazing, but recently we're moving her into director of culture because it's not necessarily about operations anymore. We're providing the infrastructure to bring up more management with our team and make herself and myself more available to the community, to be able to answer questions that people have, to be a little bit more giving of our time. The last 5 years we've been building a company from scratch from my garage. and
Right. Wow.
it's been one of those things that we've been in it, but now that we're kind of creating that organization and infrastructure, like how do we kind of make ourselves more available to give back?
Right. That's fantastic. And I also want to make sure people know, if they haven't ever checked out Organ Mountain Outfitters before,
Yeah.
um, where can they in real life go to discover Organ Mountain
Yeah.
Outfitters, and where online?
Yeah, definitely. So in Las Cruces, we're downtown at the farmers market. We have a physical store. Albuquerque, you can catch us in Nob Hill. It's right by University. Little Bear's a coffee shop there. OrganMountainOutfitters.com and then ziapeblo.co are the two websites where you can kind of support both initiatives.
That's fantastic. And I also want to say thank you to Organ Mountain Outfitters for helping us get the word out about a program that we're hosting in Sandoval County.
Yeah.
We're doing this in partnership with Sandoval County and from support from the Economic Development Division, Outdoor Recreation. Right now, we are offering to businesses who are in the outdoor recreation space, that's guided hikes, kayaking, hunting, fishing, whatever it is. If it's outdoors, it's something we're interested in supporting. We are currently offering photo and video services to produce social media content for local businesses, and as well as workshops for working with content for social media and how to optimize your business and make connections to your customers online. Because Sandoval County is beautiful. We have Zona Pueblo right at the heart of it, and Jemez Springs, which is absolutely stunning, and the mountains that surround it and the hot springs there. So if you're a business in that county and you're interested in participating and you work in outdoor rec, you can check the link in our bio for more information and how to sign up. So Chris, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today, and hopefully we can do another conversation like this in the future. More
Yeah.
cool stuff to announce.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Take care, and enjoy everything down in Las Cruces. I hope I get down there soon.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care.